Hey guys, welcome to another day on the shop. Today we're reassembling the 4G63. So we got the head back. I gotta go get it. It's just outside in a trunk. But as is the last time you saw it, the whole assembly is back together towards the rotating assembly. Now we got to start getting the front pieces on and the head on and the pan on. And that's my goal today, is have a complete 4G63 on the stand, ready to be picked up and put with the transmission, hopefully tomorrow, unless I can get to it today. So, yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so we've got all the gaskets and everything. This is just going to be an old mom and pop restoration. It's going to just be a basic install. So no performance, no turbo, no nothing, back to stock, and running it by somebody that doesn't race. He just wants the nostalgia of a 90 Plymouth Laser. So we're looking at the oil pump right now and the balancers. So that's what we're going to be working on getting in there with this kit. So we're going to start out with figuring out which gasket goes, how it goes, and everything else. And then we'll get the head in here with the other stuff. Alright, so you see we got the water pump on, we got the timing stuff started, we've got the balancing shafts in and rotating assemblies with that in there, the oil filter adapter, and we're going to keep going. We're about to put the belt on for the first balancer, and then the second balancer is going to go on once the rest of the assembly gets on. So that's what we're going to do right now, is just begin to piece all this together. I got to go get the head real quick and we'll start slapping the head on as well. Alright, so as you see, I got the head back. It looks a heck of a lot better. All in these ports, it's all cleaned out. There's still some gunk in there, but they washed it, they cleaned it. Got a little rust right here, but it'll go away. Got new valve stem seals in. We're going to redo the lifters. What else? It's all cleaned up, ready to go. It's been decked, as you see. So all this should be perfect. So, got a head gasket right here. Like I said, stock. So we ordered some new head bolts because the last head bolt, as you saw, I think you saw, I had a few mishaps where they decided to not comply with my Allen head. So, ordered a whole new set, which most of the time you're supposed to anyway. So, we're going to throw all this on and get this together and get the timing right. So. Okay, so the head's on. It's not tightened down all the way, it's just snug. Put some tissue down in these holes right here so nothing falls in to the oil pan, or through the head down into the oil pan or anything else, even though the oil pan's not on. I just don't want to deal with anything else. So I've got to get the hydraulic lifters and get some new oil in them, get the old oil out, and then we'll start putting the rockers on. And then we'll start getting the cams on, and that's when we'll start timing. So let's get to it. All right, we're going to do 58 foot-pounds at first, then we're going to loosen the head bolts completely, Then we're going to 14.5 foot-pounds. Then we're going to do 90 degrees and then 90 degrees. And the order is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so on. So we're going to get to this doing the 58 pounds. I'm going to make y'all watch the whole thing. So you saw me do one part of the sequence. Like I said, we do 58 foot-pounds to seat the head, then we loosen it all the way, then go back through and do 14.5 pounds, and then do a 90-degree turn, and then after that, one more 90-degree turn, and that tightens the head down just enough. So now, like I said, I got my little tissue paper in there. I'm going to start putting these these lifters in. All my lifters are in there. We're going to oil them up, put them in there, and then start looking at getting these cams in. So let's oil these up. So the lifters are in, we got oil everywhere and everywhere and everywhere. So we're still continuing to put this stuff together. I still got a table full of stuff. I'm going to take a small break and then come back in here and get these cams in. So moving along. Yeah, get this front timing done. Alright, so we got everything up front timed. We got both belts on. These are both AcDelco brand. I decided to trash the Chinese made little knick-knack brand that we had, and I bought a bunch of AcDelco so I can know their quality. So the cams are in but not 100%, so I've got to finish putting them in. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so now we got all the timing in place. Everything's lining up good. So opposites, everything's opposite of where it should be. That's good because I've been winding it over and it looks good. So I'm just continuing to put stuff in. Like I said, got the caps on up here, got the distributor / ignition, whatever you want to call it, whatever. And I'm getting ready, slowly, to paint the valve cover because I don't want it the same gold and it looks crappy. So I'm scared because I think I need to paint the rest of the stuff, which I don't know. I don't think I will. That kind of matches but kind of doesn't. But we do have to take this little rubber piece out in the middle, so I don't know. I might paint it, throw a quick coat on it, see if it works to match. So, yeah. All right, well, back to work. Back to work. So, kind of pondering on what next. I kind of need to get the front buttoned up so I can start putting on other things. I need to put the front on and then start the oil pan, which is clean and dry now, so that might be another factor of what I put in. Just these shiny valves in here, they look so pretty. So, but all right, well, back to work. All right, back to it. Today's a new day. It's been a few days since I finished up with the timing and all that. I will show you the marks. I'm going to take this cover back off and show you a few things. With it right now, it's just almost getting back together. The cam cover is painted in one aspect. I got a little bit more I want to do to it. All right, I'm gonna pop this whatever this is, pulley off, this dampener, and then I'll pop all these screws off real quick. I'm gonna show you what this looks like up underneath, fully done, timed, and everything else. Then we're gonna work our way all the way around it. So. All right, looking at the timing marks, we'll start out with this balancing shaft pulley right here. So here's one arrow right there where the white is, and then that's the arrow it goes to. Over here, we see, let's see, this is the white one that goes to it, and if you look at any other of the markings for this, it goes to this little arrow right up under this bolt. All right, and then we'll move over here. Going from this timing spot right here to this on the oil pump. There's a little nick right there. All right, and then we'll move up here to these. You have a spot right here and a spot right here, and they line up in the middle right here. So as you see, I've rotated over a few times, so it's not to where the timing marks are top dead center, but it is where it needs to be. So making sure that you have nicks on each side, but mine have paint on each sprocket and each place where it should be lining up to all the timing marks. So hopefully that helps some of y'all. I know it would have helped me to see a little bit more of that. So yeah, we're gonna snap all this back together and start building this thing to get it back in the car. Just kind of looks like a rat's nest for what's going on here. I kind of want to get some new lines because some of these are busted. So I'm going to strip all these off. They'll come off. Alright, well, we'll figure all that out in a little bit. But now I'm going to clean all this up, see what we can come up with towards making this a little bit prettier. And like I said, maybe change out some of these lines, these vacuum hoses, to make it to where things work and it's prettier. Get this nasty gasket off. So yeah, let's make this just a little shinier. Well, we took the throttle body off. We're going to strip all these gaskets off. It is nasty up in there. You almost can't see, but see all this grime? I'm using Super Clean's aerosol can to get up in here and let it sit for a little bit. I'm gonna take it and wash it all out. The exterior is not too bad, but the interior just, this stuff's nasty. I mean, this is what's all in here, all going in the engine from the intake. That's just horrible looking stuff. So we're going to clean all this up as much as we can, get some clean airflow going in this engine so it runs better, runs cleaner, better fuel mileage, a little bit more power. So I'm going to let this soak for a little bit and then take it to the water hose and wash it all out. The throttle body itself, it's a little bit crummy. I'm going to polish it up a little bit, but the inside's a little dirty. The front's not, it's just the back side. So I'm guessing that's just oil vapors that have seeped through with a lot of blow-by. So we're going to make sure this engine good. So I'm going to work on this for a little bit so y'all stand. It's painted silver. There's a couple of dirty spots on it that I'll clean off. Painted over the red, but it looks pretty enough to me. If I want to, I'll come back and put some red or another color up there. But, so, cleaned all that up, painted it, put the PCV valve back up here. I Tefloned it so it stays in. I put new O-rings for the, oops, sorry. I put new O-rings for the spark plugs and got a new gasket on this. So I'm going to clean the top of the motor off and get the oil off of it and the spots where these all need to touch, and then I'm going to snug this down and the engine will be sealed up. Then we've got to put the intake and exhaust manifolds on and a couple other things. So that's what we're going to do now. Alright, so this looks pretty nice up here. Color match is pretty good. So black and red goes with silver. A little polish there. Alright, so the intake. You saw that these were blacked out completely. Now they're a lot cleaner. The interior of it is a lot cleaner. So the outside is clean as well. Still got some gasket get off, but that super clean really works. I actually poured some super clean just in it and let it sit for a while, and then went and washed it all out and cleaned it as much as I could with taking brushes and scrubbing inside to clean all where the ports go and everything else. Try and get as much gunk out of here as possible for cleaner airflow. So I got the gasket on here right now. This is a metal gasket versus a cork gasket or paper gasket. So that's what's going on here next. And then it'll start coming together a little bit better. Got to get my cam covers, put them on here, and then got to get the exhaust and put it on here. And then after that, the mounts, got a new oil filter going on, and the rest of the brackets. This isn't far from going in that car. Hopefully we can get it done by at least tomorrow. I want to get it in the car and everything else. There's a wire, cleaned it up, put a new crimped / heat shrink on it, so it will go here on this oil pressure sensor. So hopefully that helps a little bit. With the throttle body, I cleaned it up, polished it up, took some parts off to get really in there and clean. So tried to match everything else as much as possible with a little bit of polish, a little bit of cleanliness. So, let's get to getting this intake on. Finish getting this gasket off, get this intake on, then start looking at the exhaust. I do have a stud that I broke, so I'll probably have to go get a new one. As you see, that stud that's missing right there. So I'll clean all that off before I put the gasket on. But yeah, so it needs a new stud, to fit the 3-bolt exhaust over here. So that's the one that broke. So we'll get a new one. Let's get to this. Man, just looking in here, it's so much cleaner. It was black. It's got a little bit of grease right there, but it was completely black, and now it's not. All because of some super clean and some cleaning. Good. Okay, so got the intake on, got the fuel rail on, got the coils on, and then whatever that thingy is. Throttle body's back on. All this is hooked up where it needs to go. So we're just working our way down the list. Next, I'm going to put the exhaust manifold on and then start going through the other little tidbits that need to go on here so that we can get this thing in that car tomorrow. There's not much more to do. Maybe 2, maybe 3 more hours worth of work on here, especially with me having to look stuff up because, like I've said before, never worked on a 4G63. So I'm gonna get on this now. Okay, exhaust manifold is on, front cover is on, AC brackets on, intake brackets on. So slowly going. All right, well, got the spark plugs back in, and then I was confused at this little ignition coil that is here. So I looked it up quite a few times and found out the order is 4, 1, 2, 3. So this is number 4, which is way over here. This is number 1, number 2, number 3. So the order is 4, 1, 2, 3 for the spark plugs. So now I'm just going through whatever I've got left on this table as of bracketry and everything else to try and figure out where it all goes and cleaning some of it up. I'm painting a couple of the brackets just because to me they look crummy when they're rusted and discolored. So I'm painting them black. As you see, they're drying. Take a little while. Hit them up with some rust converter to start the process and then let that dry, and then came back with some black paint. So, like I said, just going down this little list. My table's getting a little bit bare, throwing a lot of bags away that I used to have the bolts in because the engine's getting back together. So let's continue this venture. All right, so I had an issue. I had a stud break. So in the exhaust, I was sitting there tightening it down. I had a stud break. I used an extraction tool, which works out really well. It's called a speed out. It has a little drill bit on one side, but this one's dull, so I actually had to use a drill bit. And then it has reverse threads on the back of it that countersink into it and start backing it out. Now I can't get it off. But these are a lifesaver. So instead of going to get another stud, I got a bolt. It's cleaned up, it's nice, pretty, fits well. The other thing I do is I like to use ultra copper. I don't really care for any type of actual gaskets because they don't seal all the way. So the next best thing is using ultra copper on both surfaces. You can either use or not use a gasket with it. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the gasket with it, but I'm going to use ultra copper on the block and on the manifold itself so that it has a good clean bond. So that's what we're going to do next. All right, as you see, the stud's in, and well, not stud, the bolt is in. There's not a lot of excess, which is good for the copper sealant, so that should hold and not have any leaks whatsoever from the head to the manifold. I'll also do the same thing down here. That's how I fixed the 240's leaks, is I had quite a few leaks in a big gap, and layered it on with the gasket, tightened it down, let it sit for about 24 hours after that, and never had another issue since. So, on to the next project. Okay, so we got the mounts on. This one's a little dirty from debris. We got the mounts on, we got the water necks on, we got the intake on, the other mount on, we got the pulleys on, everything other than the AC and the power steering. We've got the ignition on, fuel rail on, all that. All right. Now you see we got the power steering here, we got the AC there. So when we get this in there, that's when we will hook those up. Also for the manifold cover, we'll put it on once we get it in the car. So I'm gonna lift this thing up and put it in, but that's going to be in the next video. I don't want to hold y'all too long with one video, just putting things together. Any questions you have, ask. I didn't go into the vacuum system because I'm not sure 100% how the vacuum system works on this. I will find out as I do it, and so it will be in the video for dropping this motor in there and hooking everything up. So well, thank you for joining in to another day on the shop. Check out any of the other videos. They'll be at the end of the video for the laser and random video next to it. But please don't hesitate to subscribe, comment below for anything you want to talk about. Go over to Instagram. Every person that subscribes has a possibility of winning as long as they enter on Instagram for the giveaways. So every 100 subscribers has a chance to have a win for the giveaway of whatever it is. I want to give a big shout out to Super Clean. As you see, all my dirty products right there. Super Clean's been helping me out with giveaways and products in my shop to show you. So don't hesitate to check them out in the link in the description below. The belts will be in the description below for each one, as of the alternator to the water pump, the AC, and the power steering, as well as the timing belt and the other belt that goes to the balancer. So can't really think of anything else I really used in this video that was different other than that rebuild kit. That was a, what was the name of it? D&J off eBay. So I've got no control over that one. So check that one out for yourself. But thank you again for joining in, and until next time.